On your oath, you say that the defendant is not guilty of the count of strangulation or suffocation and not guilty of the count of assault and battery. So say you, Madam Forelady?
Yes.
So say all members of the jury?
Yes.
The verdict just came in. Stefon Diggs found not guilty of assaulting his private chef, and the jury did not deliberate long.
No, Diggs looked relieved as this verdict was read. WBZ's Aaron Parsegian is live in Dedham. And Aaron, the jury was back pretty quickly with this verdict.
Yeah, David and Lisa, Diggs and his attorney have long said an assault never happened. And after about an hour and a half of deliberations, the jury returned not guilty verdicts on both counts. Here's a look at some of the testimony today that led up to that verdict. Dancing in New York after an alleged assault in Dedham. Stefon Diggs' defense team using this video in part to poke holes in Mila Adams' claim. The former New England Patriots star assaulted and choked her following a pay dispute last December.
You know that someone on your behalf has demanded $5.5 million from Stefon Diggs. Do you know that, Miss Adams?
No, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer the question.
What's up, Now, he chose to sleep with this woman who is his chef that looks like she's old enough to be his mother. I'm not trying to be ugly, but you athletes got to stop sticking your stuff in everything and anything that walks. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Gavin Richard, your host with the most here. It is Random Topic Tuesdays, and this is some breaking news. Of course, it's come out of Boston, Massachusetts, that Stefon Diggs, who was a four-time Pro Bowl wide receiver, was on trial for domestic violence, strangulation, and assault. And he has been found not guilty. This coming in at about 3:30 my time this afternoon. He's been found not guilty on all charges. And this is the woman. Her name is Mila Adams, who accused Stefon Diggs of attacking her and assaulting her sometime in December of 2025, and which I remember Mr. Diggs he subsequently, since the Patriots made the Super Bowl, he had been cut from the team. No telling if it was a result of this actual charge. I know Stefon Diggs did have 1,000 yards receiving this year. He's actually had 7 in his career, but nevertheless, he's no longer with the New England Patriots. This might have been a factor as well because, he's played for several teams. And this, I remember when it came out in December of 2025, made breaking news when he was accused of assaulting his chef. And it turns out that this was nothing more than essentially, from my viewing this, a big ploy to get money. I'm going to finish playing the video, but I wanted to give my commentary for fair use. And you saw earlier, they played this video supposedly after she was assaulted of her.
An assault never happened. And after about an returned not guilty verdicts that led up to that verdict. Dancing in New York after an alleged assault in Dedham. Stefon Diggs' defense team using this video in part to poke holes in Mila Adams' claim. The former New England Patriots star assaulted and choked her following a pay dispute last December.
You know that someone on your behalf has demanded $5.5 million from Stefon Diggs. Do you know that, Miss Adams?
No, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer the question.
Diggs' attorney highlighting his former live-in chef's potential financial motives and flaws they see in the police report.
If somebody deleted messages from that before they ever sent it to you, that would be important for you to know, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
If those weren't complete.
Correct.
You would want to know that.
I'd want the whole picture. Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
The jury hearing from a number of witnesses Tuesday, among them a masseuse, nurse, and Diggs' chief of staff who were at the home with Adams the day of the alleged incident. All testifying they noticed no injuries or anything out of the ordinary.
We talk about business, we'll gossip, we girls, so.
Shy Charles, Diggs' hairstylist, testifying her and Mila Adams became close friends, going on vacation together and spending time at Charles's home in New York, where they both were hours after Adams told police she was attacked.
Did she ever mention any kind of an attack?
No.
Charles says she was back at Diggs' home less than 2 weeks later when Adams made a comment that stuck out.
She said she's gonna sue him
Go.
For what?
for the money that he owes her.
Yep.
And like she gonna take it to the blog.
Though in closing arguments, prosecutors highlighted all the witnesses' close ties to Diggs.
He was a athlete, a celebrity, financial.
And guys, I want to point something out. The prosecutors only arrested after a day. They only called 2 witnesses. They called the accuser and they called the reporting police officer that you just saw earlier. That was it. Stefon Diggs had about 6 or 7 witnesses that testified on his behalf. And I'm going to get to somebody in a minute who's someone that mentioned why he didn't take the stand, or someone who was talking about the case. Well, I'm saying the wrong thing, but I want to talk about another reporter, quote unquote reporter, in a little bit, but I'm going to finish the video.
Financially powerful, surrounded by people that were all on his payroll that liked him.
And just moments ago after the verdict, Diggs and his family walked out of the courthouse here. They didn't stop to talk, but his defense team did. Take a listen to some of what they said.
Domestic violence is a very, very serious issue in this country. And it's disconcerting when people use it as a sword and manufacture claims in an attempt to extract money. I believe the jury saw through that today. And we are very, very pleased with this result. I'm thankful for someone like Stefon Diggs, who insisted that he get his day in court.
And a lot of people probably have questions about what's next for Diggs in his professional football career. We'll have what his attorney said about the now free agent coming up tonight at 6. Live in Dedham, Aaron Parsegian, WBZ.
This is a shame. Yes, the jury saw through all of this. This woman, and I actually sat, guys, I watched her testimony under cross-examination. It was tough to watch if you were on the side of the prosecutors. It was difficult to watch because you realize that she was not being forthcoming and truthful about the entire situation. She got caught in when she couldn't answer straight questions. At one point, she got admonished by the judge, who even said that if she didn't answer the questions, her testimony would be stricken from the record. The prosecutors in this case, though, need to be dealt. Honestly, they should be ashamed for filing this. Whoever the ADA, the district attorney in Boston, that went along with this, the DA, maybe not so much the ADAs, that the assistant district attorneys. The Norfolk District Attorney's Office was the ones who prosecuted this, and the ADA you see was a man by the name of Drew Virtue. That's the prosecutor, but the Norfolk District Attorney's Office ought to be embarrassed. Out in Canton, Massachusetts. This is his name. His name is Michael Morisi. He's the DA. Hold on, let me put him up. This is the DA that okayed prosecution of Stefon Diggs. Now, I'm not a fan of Stefon Diggs personally, not because he hurt my Saints in the 2017 divisional rounds with the Minneapolis Miracle. I hate going over that. I think a lot of these athletes are morons. They certainly are not smart. They go around sleeping with any and everybody. I mean, Stefon has about 5 kids, I think, with 5 different women. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. He has a kid with Cardi B, right? That's his latest. That's Michael Morisi. That's the district attorney of Norfolk County. that prosecuted Stefon Diggs. This is their office. And these are Democrats, ladies and gentlemen. This man is a Democrat. Now, I'm not here to make this about, because I see Killer Mike getting tore up about Republicans versus Democrats or anything like that, but he decided to bring this case to Norfolk County and waste taxpayer money, taxpayer time, in something that really should be a civil dispute, if that, at best. Well, really, at best. At worst, it's a frivolous claim against a brother. And I'm not a fan. Like I say again, you don't have to be a supporter. No, you're neither a supporter nor a fan of Stefon Diggs to realize that when you watch and go through the facts of this case, this was a very weak case from the beginning. This woman had no injuries. There's a police report, but she had no visible injuries. I don't believe there was any medical records of any damages, no bruising, no cuts. And as a matter of fact, this came out at the court. This came out under cross-examination, under direct examination. The prosecutor is true virtue. The jury deliberated only after 1 hour. It took 1 hour before jury came back and acquitted Stefon Diggs of all charges. Now, what is it going to be? I wonder if Malika Andrews is going to talk about this on ESPN. I wonder if she's going to get at Stephen A. Smith. And I'm not big on Stephen A. Smith, but I applaud Stephen A. Smith for checking Malika Andrews that day when they were talking about Ime Udoka a couple of years ago. We have a criminal justice system for a reason. There's a reason we have the presumption of innocence. There's a reason we have the burden on the state to prove their charges. For this apparent reason, if you are accusing somebody of a crime and they're at risk of losing their life, their freedom, and property, you got to be able to prove everything beyond a reasonable doubt in criminal court. And if you can't, you must acquit. And the defense attorneys and Stefon had more than, of course, that was his one of the defense attorneys who testified. I think they had a group of associates that cross-examined the prosecutor's witnesses, especially the star witness. And I'm going to play a video of that. It was terrible from the beginning. I'm going to share with you something I saw. So this was earlier. This is a 2-minute and 30-second clip. I want y'all to look at this. This is courtesy of Law and Crime. So watch what happens when they start cross-examining her. Now, this is just part of the clip. Hold on. This is just part of the cross-examination earlier.
This is missing a whole lot of stuff.
The yes or no question.
I can't answer your question correctly without the proper evidence.
Your Honor, may I approach? Do you recognize this document as text exchanges between you and Sunny?
Yes.
Dated December 9, 2025,
Yes.
and you're the person in the bubbles on the left?
Yes.
And you write to Sunny, hey, so I looked over my transfers, payment history, and they sent payments, 11/7 and 11/21, totaling $4,000. See that?
Yes.
So you knew that you had actually been paid for 2 of those 3 weeks that you tried to get paid for again, right?
What's your name? I never got your name.
Did you know
I
that
don't
you
know.
had
I
been
was trying to
paid?
address you by your name because I'm not this. I don't know. I can't answer that question correctly.
You knew on December 9th that you had been paid for 2 of the 3 weeks you said you hadn't been paid for, didn't you?
I don't understand the question.
You just acknowledged you wrote it to Sunny.
I was supposed to be paid for the week I was sent home. So
Okay.
I sent the incorrect amount because I didn't know he wasn't paying me for that week.
Right. So you sought $6,000 instead of $2,000.
That's my calculations was
Right. And so that last week, that was a week you didn't work, right?
because I was sent home.
Right. So you weren't in the kitchen cooking.
Mrs. Diggs sent me home because he had girls at the
Ma'am,
house.
whatever you're going to
I
add
should
is
be
not
paid.
responsive. Your Honor? Yes.
She's not even answering the questions. She was doing this all
I don't understand.
on cross.
Difference between the text messages that you provided to the Dedham police and the text messages that are here?
Yes.
And what is that difference?
I deleted bet and pussy. And I'm ruining that bitch life. Not mistaken. Yeah.
And why did you delete those phrases when you provided those text messages to the Dedham police?
Because when I was abused in my previous relationship, when I would say things,
The objection is sustained.
he would.
The objection is sustained. There's no question there. Again, the jurors will disregard it. Sidebar.
I was abused in my previous relationship. When I would say things,
The objection.
when I was abused in my
And why did you delete those phrases when you provided those text messages to the Dedham police?
because when I was abused in my previous relationship, when I would say things,
The objection is sustained.
he would.
It was hard to hear. I had to rewind it.
Question there. Again, the jurors will disregard it. Sidebar.
Is there a difference between the text messages that you provided to the Dedham?
This woman, yeah. So this woman basically she got caught in several lies. Her credibility was shot from the moment she got on the witness stand. She described her relationship with Stefon Diggs. She said, first we were friends, then it became complicated, then we became friends with benefits, which basically meant they were sleeping together. And supposedly she wanted to have her own restaurant, her own kitchen, and she was a live-in chef. So they were sleeping with each other. And she wanted money from him. And this even came up in court. This came up on direct examination. They asked for her, was the name of her attorney. She couldn't give an answer to that. She kept trying to say, well, that's for workers' comp, that's for workers' comp, and got caught. But one of the big issues and takeaways from this trial that I have, especially is from the national media and those in sports world, somebody I can't stand. I've lost a lot of respect. I really didn't have so much respect for him then. If I did, I don't know. Is a guy by the name of Mike Florio. Now, Mike Florio is, and that's who I wanted to talk about when I said earlier, someone who's talking about this case. This is a sports writer, radio host. He's actually the creator of Pro Football Talk. That's his website. And Mike Florio is also a former attorney. He practiced law for 18 years. I don't know what law he practiced, but he went to West Virginia Law School in 1991. And I don't know if he practiced criminal law or criminal defense, but I want to share with y'all this video. This is fair use. This is where I stopped, especially one of the reasons why I stopped listening to sports talk. Because when you hear and listen to people like this who are biased, reporters are supposed to be neutral. And I want y'all to listen. So I know that I don't want there to be a fair use thing. So I'm going to play audio. I'm just going to play the audio of it. But that's Mike Florio. I don't know who that person is on the right. I thought it was Chris Sims. But I want y'all to just listen to the audio. So hold on. Listen carefully. Fair use.
On Monday, multitasking, working while monitoring the criminal trial involving receiver Stefon Diggs, a free agent cut by the Patriots after 1 year. He had a 1,000-yard season in 2025, coming off of a torn ACL with the Texans in 24. He's got 7 1,000-yard seasons. He's still got gas in the tank. He's 32. He faces felony strangulation charge and a misdemeanor assault charge arising from an incident that allegedly occurred at his home in December of 2025 with a personal chef in some sort of an argument, some sort of a dispute. There was much quibbling over details. The only detail that matters is during the argument that they had, whatever the reason for the argument was, and, you know, if you got 2 kids that get into a fight, like, and it gets ugly and one of them gets hurt, I don't care what they were arguing about. They were clearly arguing. And in this case, it comes down to, in my assessment, whether or not the jury's going to believe that Stefon Diggs slapped her and then put her within a crook of his elbow and choked her, or didn't. There's no middle ground. It either happened or it didn't. And we can talk about burden of proof, proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Jury's just going to come to a conclusion. Did it happen or did it not? Do we believe her or do we not? And I thought she told a compelling story on direct examination about the alleged assault. And I think the one key detail that would make a difference for me if I was on the jury was her pointing out that she urinated while this was happening. Like, that's the kind of detail that I don't think somebody who was making it up would think to add in when you're in that kind of fear, when you are under that kind of stress. That's one of the things that will happen.
There's no way. So wait a minute. So he thinks that because she said she peed under duress, that means she wasn't lying. Nobody makes a story up like that saying they peed on themselves because they choked them out. Of course, that's automatically, that proves he did it. For me, that's compelling. That's it. There's no way you followed this trial. There's no way Mike Florio followed this trial. He had somebody tell him the facts and pieces that he wanted. Because had he followed the trial, he would have even heard that the prosecutor in their closing arguments called this woman not a perfect witness. They said she wasn't a perfect witness. What did you watch. So enough. Did he even watch the part where they cross-examined her, where she said that she wanted monies from Stefon Diggs? Did he talk about the part where the hairstylist for Stefon Diggs was friends with this woman and stated that she wanted to sue him? Did he talk about the part that they had a sexual relationship with each other? See, he ignored all of that just in his first, we're 2 minutes and 17 seconds in, and he's already on the side of the prosecution. He's already saying she did it. He did it, rather.
And you don't think about it until it happens to you. It's not a normal, natural thing. You're in an extremely stressful, painful situation, and it happens. You're in fear, and it happens. Now, on cross-examination, Shireen, she didn't hold up under questioning all that well. But I was a firm believer when I conducted cross-examination, you do it with a scalpel. This was cross-examination with a sledgehammer. And if I don't understand what the hell's going on and why the prosecutor is asking these questions, and I did it for 19 years, the jury clearly doesn't understand what's going on. So, the defense lawyer, Stefon Diggs' lawyer, I think successfully muddied her up a little bit on cross-examination, but she told a compelling story, objectively compelling story on direct examination. And I don't know that they can take enough away from her testimony, or that they have. They'll continue with her cross-examination today. I don't know that they can do enough there to undermine the story that she told about being slapped and then put in basically a semi-headlock by Stefon Diggs.
Is this one of the trials, Mike, since you've watched it, obviously, and most of us, all of us haven't? Does Stefon Diggs go on the stand, or is it a decision that they have to make, or have they already made that decision, do you think? Or he just lets it go and sees if they believe her story, or they wait and kind of, I know they have the jury consultants of how they feel like it went, her testimony, but is he going to testify, I guess?
Criminal defendants rarely testify. And obviously there's a constitutional right against self-incrimination. And
this is
I
a
remember in law
former
school,
lawyer, ladies and gentlemen. This is an attorney. So I had issues with Mike Florio a couple of years ago when he did a horrific article about Deshaun Watson and what he was accused of. So I don't know if he was a former prosecutor or what. Maybe that might be the reason. But this is terrible. Can y'all listen? I'm seeing people commenting different stuff. I need to know if y'all can hear the audio. That's my main thing. Can you hear the audio? I'm assuming because I'm sharing it, it's all good. There's no issues.
I think the quote was something like 90% of criminal defendants don't testify, and 100% of the 10% who do lose. Because what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a position where you get cross-examined by a prosecutor who is just ready to pounce. And for a lot of the people who are on trial with serious criminal charges, this isn't their first rodeo. So there are other past actions that get wedged into the case that they come up with an argument as to why it's relevant. And that just makes the defendant look like a bad person. And you want to catch them in a lie that is material to the case. Or I think in this case, what they want to do is they just want to make the alleged victim seem sufficiently untrustworthy that the jury will throw out her entire testimony. And that's what I think they're trying to set up. If they can do that, if they can take enough little nicks out of her credibility that they won't believe her on the big thing, then he doesn't need to testify. But, and this is where it's important to be very objective about the strengths and weaknesses of your case when you're the lawyer. You got to take a step back and say, when she was telling the story about being assaulted, it seemed compelling.
The hell are you? When a witness is on a stand, you have a right to cross-examine them, Florio, and you should notice on their credibility. Their credibility means everything. So why an argument happened, what was the reason for it, is totally relevant. That was the first thing he said that was wrong. You definitely need to know what happened, because that would prove how the fights, if there was an altercation, if it started, who started it, that certainly matters. Keep in mind, this is Stefon Diggs' home where this allegedly had occurred, correct? She's been fired. She's no longer working there. Why are you at his house? Get your stuff and move. Get your stuff and leave, right? If you're staying in somebody else's home and they fire you or they tell you to leave and you don't, well, now you're trespassing. This is the point. This is what I hate about reporters like this.
I think it's hard to get a jury to accept the idea that somebody's going to come into court and get on the witness stand and tell a fantastical lie like that, commit perjury that blatantly. And that's going to be the assessment that Stefon Diggs lawyers have to make. Do they put him on the stand and let him get cross-examined by prosecutors? Does the jury want to hear from him? And they'll say, oh, no, we're not allowed to consider the decision of the defendant to exercise his right against self-incrimination. The jury shall not consider that. The jury shall not hold it against him. Okay. For most of these jurors, it's the only time they'll ever be on a jury. They may have seen this kind of stuff on TV before. This is the first time they're doing it. And I could imagine a juror thinking, now, wait a minute. She got on the stand and told the story. There was only two of them there. She told the story. It kind of sounded compelling as she was telling the story. He didn't say anything. I'll believe her. What about proof beyond a reasonable doubt? I believe her. That's all I need. I believe her. He chose to be silent. I'm going with her. That's the risk he's taking if he doesn't get on the witness stand and testify.
No, bullshit. I could tell this guy never practiced criminal defense. This man never practiced criminal law. I'm willing to bet the farm he didn't. For him to say that, oh, I'm taking her side. He didn't take the witness stand. Sixth Amendment of the Constitution, ladies and gentlemen, and the judges give instructions. The fact that a defendant chooses not to testify in his own defense at trial, you cannot hold that against him during deliberations. Those are charges that are actually written by a judge. You have a Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, and your right to reserve that right shall not be used against you. If they polled the jury, let's say Stefon Diggs had been found guilty, and they polled the jury and they asked them those questions, and if the juror did say, well, I was worried because he didn't testify and I thought that could use that against him, well, hold up. That's grounds for an appeal. That's grounds for a new trial, actually, because a juror violated the judge's instructions. Now, of course, jurors, if you poll them, some of them may not honestly tell you what you think, or what they think, rather, but if that were the case, he would have had a grounds for an appeal. And you look at the comments. This is all I could stomach of Mike Florio. But it's clear he's biased. It's clear he's prejudiced against this man. And everybody in the comment section let him have it. Guess Mike didn't see the woman doing the two-step dance after she accused him of choking her. And someone wrote, there's no way Mike was actually following this trial. No reasonable person would believe she was a credible witness. Even the prosecutor commented on how poorly she performed in the court. Yes, the prosecutor in his closing argument said that she was not perfect. The prosecutor, in my estimate, he actually screwed this whole thing up. This should have never been brought from the beginning. This was a bad case.
So we'll find out. We'll find out. It's going to continue today. I think it's already gotten started, 8:45 a.m. So I know what I'm going to be doing for most of the day. Day 2. Trials are not nearly as interesting as they make you think they are on TV and in the movie.
Did y'all think Mike is probably swinging at the air right now? Mike Florio is swinging at the air. He's like, Mike Florio is just like Cuba Gooding Jr. in Boys in the Hood in Neil Long bedroom right now, hearing that Stefon Diggs got acquitted. Now, I heard Florio is actually a Minnesota Vikings fan. You know, Stefon Diggs played with the Vikings in his first few seasons with the Vikings while he was an NFL player. And I'm suspecting that might be the reason why he's against Stefon Diggs. Hey, they have people that get upset when they don't go against their teams or they leave their teams. They get vendetta against them. He's used to being a jackass, is what you're saying, Spirit. Yeah, rest in peace, Spirit. Spirit Airlines. I like to buy them if I could. Who's got change for $1? Spirit Airlines. I flew Spirit once. They had duct tape on the door. The whole man, no, I feel sorry for the people that actually lost their jobs. To lose your jobs just that quickly. There are a lot of people who are without, who have families and have to find work quickly. If I'm not mistaken, I think someone can correct me, or some of the employees being turned over to finding work with JetBlue. Was there something like that I heard? And they tried to work a deal out, supposedly, and couldn't get one. I saw they had a rally by Spirit Airlines headquarters. 17,000 direct and indirect workers, man. I'm even seeing Delta Airlines, they're starting to make cuts too on snack and beverage services. They're cutting back. But yeah, JetBlue, Frontier, Breeze, and Allegiant are expanding their routes. Yeah, I've actually flew Spirit earlier this year to Orlando. It wasn't a bad flight. It wasn't bad. But I was praying for my dear life. I was like, don't let this shit go. The soul plane of the skies. The real soul plane. I swear they had a gold chain on the nose of the plane. Yeah, Mike Florio. Yeah, it's Mike. Who cares what he thinks? If I peed myself, I guess he's guilty. Oh man, shut up. If she peed, he's telling the truth. Now I wonder what he's going to say tomorrow, if he says anything. But this trial only lasted 2 days, ladies and gentlemen. The jury, they didn't buy what this woman was selling. I mean, she was having that, and she was her worst witness. Her testimony actually was about to be stricken. Yeah.
I asked her what she was gonna stay. She said a hotel. I'm like, girl, we friends. You don't have to stay at a hotel. You could stay at my place.
All right. Did you actually see her that night? Did she stay at your place?
Yeah.
So did you end up seeing Miss Adams? Did you actually get in your car?
Yeah.
You picked her up from LaGuardia Airport?
I'm not
When
mistaken.
she got in your car, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
Mm-mm.
Did you notice anything about her appearance?
No.
Was there any bruising on her at that point?
No.
What were you doing when she picked Miss Adams up?
We went to go pick up my friend Tally in Queens, and we were just chilling in the car. We were just like singing and just talking.
If we could pause it right there. All right. So this is actually, for the record, the first video in exhibit number 5, Mr. Charles. Looking at this, we've played 14 seconds. Do you recognize what we're looking at?
Yes.
What is that?
That's me in my car. Dashcam video.
All right. And that video, does that fairly accurately represent kind of the drive you guys had?
Yeah.
All right. There's a timestamp down here at the bottom. It says 11:48 and 18 seconds p.m.
Yeah.
Is that consistent with your recollection of kind of after you had picked Mila up from the airport?
Yeah.
What did the three of you do that night?
We went to Jersey. I have a house in Jersey City, so we went to Jersey City.
And what did you do?
Drink, eat wings, and watch TV, just chill.
All right. Did you end up staying or sleeping in Jersey City, or did you sleep somewhere else?
No, I went back to my apartment in Brooklyn.
Who went back to your apartment in Brooklyn?
Me, Tally, and Mila.
Is that a fair and accurate representation of how Miss Adams looked that day on December 3rd?
Yeah.
That video kind of depicts how she looked.
Yes.
Did Miss Adams ever tell you that she had been assaulted or strangled?
No.
Did she ever mention any kind of an attack?
No. She was stopping off in New York for a couple of days.
Now this was played. I gotta see the video of her dancing again.
Stefon Diggs, chef, tripping.
Hey.
I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, man. But I don't know nobody, man, that's up dancing and laughing after they got their ass beat. Now, I don't know what Stefon Diggs is running over there. Like, seems like he has a bunch of women and he has them on board with how he gets down. I guess he's poly or whatever may have you. But in my opinion, man, this chef, I think she's just disgruntled because her services was no longer needed by Stefon. And he sent her home. And this here is just a money grab. Get in the comments and let me know what y'all think, man. Girl dancing and shit. Stefon Diggs, chef, tripping.
Can I have a second?
Mila Adams getting emotional as she took the stand in the trial of former New England
She
Patriots
made
star
herself
wide
look
receiver
terrible in
Stefon
front
Diggs.
of the world.
And he put his arm around my neck like this, and he's choking me.
Diggs' former live-in private chef accused him of smacking and choking her at his Dedham home last December, following a text argument over a pay dispute.
The more I was trying to put his hand, he got tighter.
Adams says years prior, the pair met on Instagram, began a sexual relationship that turned professional as he mounted a comeback from a season-ending injury.
The start of our initially hiring me, he was coming back. It was his comeback year. And I wanted to help him get healthy.
But Adams says things soured over her relationship with another Diggs staffer, and when she was not included on a bye-week trip to Miami.
Me and his girlfriend, Cardi B, we were talking about having like outfits and stuff. It was like a whole thing being planned.
In cross-examination, Diggs' defense began poking holes in the difference between Adams' testimony and the police report she filed 2 weeks after the alleged incident, including deleted text messages and no photographic evidence of alleged injuries.
And you didn't think it was important to record your injuries or take photos.
Diggs' attorney claiming this is all a false tale from a scorned woman who's looking to make money.
Where the charge hinges entirely on the word of a single person, and that person has millions of reasons to lie.
Exactly. This was Tupac. This is like the girl that set up Tupac. Superstar Bella said Spirit had an impeccable safety record. They were one of the safest flights you've had. Yeah, but not the safest in the world, but they were one of. Safest airlines in the world actually is Etihad Airways. According to airlineratings.com. That's worldwide airlines. Now, if you're talking United States, of course, there's a difference with those. Frontier and Spirit are ranked among the safest. Yeah. That's because they're a young fleet. Spirit Spirit hasn't been around long like Southwest and Delta and United Airlines and so forth. I think Spirit wasn't the worst I flew on. Delta I usually like because Delta, there's luxury stuff, but Spirit gets laughed at and so forth because it's cheap flying. There's no, first class seat. There's no first class seating, not a lot of leg room with stuff. No TV like Delta. It's like a bus in the air, a school bus in the air. But again, but do I feel bad for the employees that lost their job? Yeah, I feel sorry for them. Right. Why do women like this, her make an accusation like this? Well, I would say this too, because of what happened with Dr. Cosby, this opened the door for a lot of people to file these BS lawsuits. You know, he actually lost that case in California. I saw, not surprised. I saw they were going to appeal that $50 million judgment. I don't know what advice his attorneys have been giving him. I don't think he's gotten the best legal advice on stuff, how he's handled these cases. But it's a shame. You're in your 80s and you can't even enjoy your rest of your life. What's left of your life with your wife and your children and grandchildren, and pass down your debt and pass down your wealth to them. And that's what they're doing with this. I don't know how Mr. Cosby is doing now. I haven't spoken to him. I know that Andrew Wyatt does not represent the Cosby family anymore. And that's another story I'll get into. But anyway, y'all, yeah, Stefon Diggs acquitted. That's what I wanted to talk about. But yeah, I think women who do stuff like this, who lie on these men, there needs to be perjury charges that are enforced against them. I think district attorneys who prosecute these types of cases without properly screening them, there ought to be ramifications from the state bar. Because it's wasted taxpayer money. But I'm going to get up out of here, y'all. I just wanted to share this with you all. It's good to see you all. Shout out to all my people on my peeps on Rumble, on X, formerly Twitter, and ScrewTube. I mean YouTube. Sorry. And yeah, I will see y'all a little bit later. But yeah, what do y'all think? Leave your comments. What do y'all think of Stefon Diggs's acquittal? All right, Spirit. You be safe. All right, be safe and be blessed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here. Oh, one final thing, of course, as you know, the channel's not monetized. If you love me for my time, you can compensate me for my time. Just drop something in the Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. All right. What's up, computer robots? J. Richard 100, Spirit of Justice. I'll see y'all in the next one, fam. Peace out. Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.